What's up everyone, this is Dylan with 405 Mods. We're here at Ajax Motorsports today and we're going to show you how to set the race sag on your bike. The race sag is important to set because it sets the preload of the rear spring for the rider's weight. This is going to affect the chassis geometry and how the bike handles. First we're going to take a measurement from the rear fender down to the rear axle, and then we're going to take the bike off the stand, have a rider sit on it, and take a measurement again, and that difference between those two measurements is our race sag. All we need is a few simple tools, a tape measure, or if you have a sag scale, great, a 4mm Allen on this bike, and a marker to mark the rear fender so that we can make sure that we are taking the measurement from the same place each time. Take a marker, or some bikes actually have a sag mark already built into the plastic. This one unfortunately does not. We're going to take our sag scale and we're going to zero out the measurement right at that mark. If you're using a tape measure, you will just measure this and record that number. Once our sag scale is zeroed out, we're going to have our rider come and get on the bike, take it off the stand, and take that measurement again. So you'll probably want to get a buddy or someone to help you hold the motorcycle up so that the rider can sit in just a natural riding position. If you would bounce up a couple times. We're going to have him bounce a couple times to make sure that the chassis is sagged where we want it to be and not stuck from any kind of friction or anything that might be present in the chassis. So we're going to take this measurement again, and it looks like right now with Traven sitting on it, we are at 96 millimeters. So on this bike, we want to be around 103. Now Traven doesn't have boots or gear on, so the measurement that we take right now, we will probably want to be a couple millimeters higher than we would if he had gear on, just to factor in the extra weight from his boots and his helmet. So what we're going to do now is put the bike back on the stand. We're going to loosen off the shock spring preload collar and loosen off the spring so that the motorcycle will sag down a little bit lower. There's just a 4mm Allen that is holding the preload ring from moving. So we'll just loosen this preload ring. And now we will take the shock and turn it counterclockwise. And this is going to take preload off of the spring, allowing the bike to sag a little bit lower. Go ahead and tighten this ring down just so we don't forget later. Now we're going to retake that measurement with Traven back on the bike. So now that we've loosened that collar off, taken some preload out, we're going to re-measure. And it looks like we are at about 101 millimeters. On this chassis, we'd probably want around 103. With Traven not having any gear on, I would say that this is a suitable measurement for him. So if you're adjusting the sag on your bike and you cannot get into that range, whether it be you have loosened the spring preload off to the point there is no preload on the spring, at that point you will want to go down a spring rate at least. Vice versa is true if you are tightening the spring down to get into that sag range where you need to be, and you have more than 6 to 8 millimeters of preload on the spring, you might look into going up a size on the rear spring.